Well, Nathan, Whitby have got their first victory of the season. Wasn't pretty at times, but a 2-0 victory on the road at Matlock Town. I'm sure you'll take that.
Well, we're absolutely delighted. First and foremost, it's got us off the mark. It's a clean sheet. It's away from home. It wasn't pretty. It was a tough physical game for us. It's not really our game, but we've mixed it up. We've defended for our lives at times against a big physical side on set pieces. But moments of class have won us the game.
Yeah, and in terms of how the match panned out, Matlock, obviously last year we came here, it was a 5-1 victory. Looked a lot better drilled side this season, it felt, and they put Whitby under quite a bit of pressure early on.
Well, the one thing you've got to do in football is work hard, and that's what Matlock did. We like to play. They did the high press. They ran the socks off. They didn't give us a moment, and that set the tempo for the game. Really, so credit to them for that. But like I say, we did get out a few times, and the few times we unlocked the door, we obviously scored, and that's what the game's about, and I'm delighted.
Yeah, once again, it's good to see the front three as it was Nathan Thomas, Alfie Doherty and Jake Charles all involved in the goals. Doherty this time, the recipient from Nathan Thomas for that first one, a fantastic header at the back post.
Yeah, we know how good we are at the top end of the pitch. When you've got players like we have, you've always got a chance of winning the game. Nath wasn't really involved as much as he would have liked on the left-hand side. But come the time, the ball's in the right area, great cross, and Alfie's rose like a salmon at the back stick, and they're the things that when you work on them in training and on the training ground and they come off in the games, it gives you a little bit of pleasure. So it was an outstanding goal from our point of view.
Yeah, and it came at a good time as well, because that was on the back of Matlock having a couple of decent chances. The number 9 had one where on another day probably finds the back of the net there, that left-footed effort, but to get that 1-goal lead, it sort of takes stuff out Matlock a bit.
Yeah, goals change games. I've got to be honest, in the first half I was very, very comfortable. I thought although we weren't our best, we dictated it and dominated it. I don't think they had any real clear-cut chances. They only looked really dangerous on the set pieces, which they're well drilled. They've got some big experienced players there and they use that to their advantage. So all the more credit to our boys because they've stuck in there, they've defended for their lives, and like I say, we've not allowed them to score.
Yeah, and the second goal coming right before half-time, a real good time to get a goal, I suppose, because once again Matlock started to build a bit of momentum at that point, but Whitby on the counter-attack, lethal there. Another
moment of quality. Jake Charles away took it and obviously dispatched it. They're things you can't really coach, and he's been doing that all the way through pre-season. He was unlucky not to score on Saturday, but he's done it today, and again he's done his bit for the team and worked his socks off.
Yeah, and then into the second half, obviously they had the unfortunate injury at half-time for one of the Matlock players. Luckily, good to see him walking out that one. I'm sure he just have a few words to say on him first.
Yeah, obviously best wishes to the kid. Obviously it was a very long way from us, but it didn't look too good. There was nothing in it from our side. He's obviously head, but then the foot obviously is his head, and obviously he's felt that one. So yeah, he gets nothing but our best wishes on that.
Yeah, and then as the second half panned out, as you'd expect, being 2-0 down, you're going to have that reaction from Matlock, and it felt that, yes, we did live dangerously at times, but, on the whole, defended what was thrown at them very well.
Yeah, we're very inexperienced. I said it Saturday, you're 2-0 up, and the decision-making at times, you question it, but this is a massive learning curve for the boys. Listen, it's a brand new back line, basically, and we know we have to be a little bit better. We've got to be better at communicating. We've got to be better at second and third balls right the way through the team. But listen, they've stood strong. They've handled everything that Matlock have thrown at them. We've rode our luck a little bit at times, which most teams have to. But listen, it's a clean sheet away from home, and from our point of view, second game off the back of a defeat, it's the right reaction that we wanted.
Yeah, and that's always key, isn't it? Because you look back a couple of seasons ago, obviously lost the first game here at Matlock, and when you lose the first game, it can potentially descend into something a bit more of a run. But that's good to get that first win out of the way nice and early.
Yeah, it is. But listen, the game of football, it's mental. On the pitch, off the pitch, you can't think too far ahead. This is the second game of a 42-game season, I think it is, and nothing's won or lost on the first day of the season. You've just got it. It's gone now. Saturday's gone. It was about resetting. It was about getting a reaction. And we got the reaction. The result tells us that the game's about winning. It doesn't matter how you do it, it's about winning. And we've done that tonight.
Yeah, and it gives you something to work on now going into that game at Warrington Rhinos on Saturday. A side that they've been quite free scoring. I think it was last time we checked, it was 4-3 they were losing against Ashton this evening. But I'm sure you'd expect to be tested in a defensive point of view. But you'd be confident in terms of the going forward element as well.
We're always confident, we always will be, because we're a decent team, we're a decent outfit, we will get better. But any game in this league is an absolute challenge, physically, mentally. It really does take a test on the players. It's all about recovery, and that's what we've got to do now. We've got to recover for what is another very hard game at Warrington Rylands. We have struggled there the last few years. But no, we'll go there, we'll do our thing, and you know, we've got to be hopeful that we can get something from there.
Yeah, very much, Nathan.